Yeah, it's too tall. Wanted to end talking about some ways we saw God working, but also ways God provided while we were there, and prayer requests that we had. Sorry. I'll start because I know what the picture is. But so 4 days before we left a month before we were leaving for Haiti, was the whole level 4 do not travel. So we had to rely on God and some guidance of making some decisions about whether or not we would go. And kind of leaning on Angela and Gama, because we couldn't really go by our American news because we don't really hear updates. We only heard the negative things. So that was one way we really had to, lean on God before going. And then 4 days before we left, Tyler injured himself at basketball. So we had this whole several days of trying to figure out what we were going to do, waiting for an MRI to figure out the extent of his injury. And I was kind of like in a toss-up of what are we going to do? How are we going to deal with this? And then I had come across this little post on Facebook of God isn't asking you to figure it out. He's asking you to trust that he already has. And that was like just moving forward and, just trusting that he's going to make it very clear what we should do. While we were there, I kind of thought of, Esther with For Such a Time as This. Because we were there in the village, Grandma's village, building the house, there were some things that we became aware of. One is this woman, Evelyn. This is Angela from Tree of Hope. She is a nurse, and her daughter's there watching her. But this was a young woman, Evelyn. Within the last year and a half, she lost her 4-year-old daughter who had gotten very sick and died. And she's pregnant and was very sick. She was coughing, throwing up the first day we were there. Just seemed to be getting worse. So Angela and Gama, one of the ways they helped the community, they paid for her to go get some medical testing. Angela kept checking on her for several days. And then because we were there in the village, Angela thought she had pneumonia and that she really needed nebulizer treatment or something. And I'm like, I have my albuterol inhaler, so we left that with them, so we were able to do that. Then we realized it was hard for her to take a deep breath, so Tyler had his air chamber with him for the inhaler, so we were able to help by that. But all just because we were there. If we hadn't been there in the village building the house, Angela might not have known about that. Another thing is because we were there, we came and brought bags of bread one day and several jars of peanut butter. Because the kids are not in school, they're not getting lunch, and there were more of them around in Grandma's village, so we were able to provide for them that way. And this was on our final day of dedication. We were thankful that we had enough supplies not only to give to David's family at the dedication, but we gave to each of the other 3 families in the village, and so God kind of provided in that way for others. So, and then Susanna has some other prayer request things.
I just wanted to, definitely say thank you guys so much for inviting us to your prayer meeting and letting us crash this. It means so much because what we were seeing and doing in Haiti was incredible to see how God is working in so many lives. And so I just wanted to leave you guys with a couple things to pray for Tree of Hope. To pray for Haiti. Like as you guys heard, there was a lot of stuff and riots and terrible things going on. I think back in February was when it was really bad. And so that almost prevented us from going, and it prevented several teams from being able to go to Haiti, and that was definitely hard for the missionaries and all of them there and the ministry there. So if you guys can pray for peace in Haiti. It's amazing when I went there and then coming back to America being like, wow, it's so peaceful. A lot of times when you're in America, you think it's like crazy. And there are a lot of crazy things in America. I'm not saying it's not. But going there and then just coming home, it was really neat to think about that and to want to pray for that, because the way that the country is going to change, right, is the kids, and that's what makes this sponsorship program so unique. So if you can pray for peace and for the new generation to grow in a way that's healthy for the country. And obviously for Tree of Hope, their ministry is incredible, and it was neat. I'm so thankful I got to be part of that as my mission trip that I got to go on, to be part of that organization. So if you can pray for their ministry to grow and for more kids to be sponsored and all of that. And also for Angela and Gama and their kids. They have a son named Nathan and a daughter Naya. We got to hang out with them, and they're just so incredible. But you can imagine it's hard to live like that. I think Gama stays there pretty much all year, right? Angela will come back when it's really, really hot in Haiti, and she comes here, and her kids go to school, or Nathan does because he's older, goes to school for a little while here. And so it's hard for any missionary in any country, and so if you can pray for them and their family, that would be so much appreciated, and I know that would make a difference. So thank you guys again so much.
We're actually going to pray for you right now. That's what we're going to do. So guys, if you're here, member of the church, you know that we come together and we pray. I want us to break into our groups, but and I think you guys have the prayer sheets, right? Or you have the prayer sheets, but let's have a focus also as well on what we've heard tonight, the tree hope of Haiti, and maybe, I don't know if you guys understand, if you would jump in one of these groups, that'd be great, that we can pray for you as well. What we're decided to do is we're gonna next week actually meet again for another come together meeting where we talk about mission and vision and all that good stuff. So we're gonna do next week, Wednesday, 7 p.m. if you can make it. If you are a member here, I have a couple things I want you to take home so you'll be prepared for our next meeting. So I'll set these over here as you